It is week 13 of the NFL. It is time to make our confidence picks. Let's go. And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm WattsUK99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So, every week we make our confidence picks for every game in the NFL. Just as a reminder, we don't pick against the spread, we pick winners. And then we track our progress every week, see how we're doing overall compared to all of the players on ESPN. And before we get into week 13, let's take a look back at week 12. It was a pretty good week. We went 11-5. All right, 100 points total, and for the season, that gives us a record of 111 wins to 69 losses, 987 points, and for the overall percentile, we are at 90.5, pretty much held water from where we were the previous week, down just about 0.5% or so not too bad. You want to stay over that 90% mark, and last year we finished in the 95 percentile, so let's see if we can climb our way back there over the last 6 weeks of the regular season. So we have 13 games this week as I'm recording. The Thursday night game just went final. We'll get into that one in just a little bit. But the number 13 game for me, so the game I'm going to put the most confidence in this week is the Miami Dolphins against the Washington Commandskins at just a lovely FedEx Stadium. Give me Miami in that game. Now, I know the Miami defense took a massive hit as Jalen Phillips is out for the year with a torn Achilles, suffered at MetLife Stadium. He got Met Death, I guess is what we'll call him. But I'll tell you what, the Miami defense is really stepping up. Since Jalen Ramsey came back in Week 8, Miami has forced 9 turnovers, recorded 14 sacks, and Washington's defense ranks last in scoring, allowing 29 points per game, 29th in yards. Their defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, has been let go. On the offensive side, though, Washington's a weird offensive team. You know, there's a lot of people talking about Sam Howell and all the yards that they're throwing for. Here's the thing, though. They're still 22nd in points. When you're getting yards but not points, it's got to be frustrating. And I know Miami isn't quite as good on the road, but against that terrible Washington D that allows a lot of big plays, they're going to do enough to win this game. Very, very confident. Number 12, the Detroit Lions at the New Orleans Saints. I'm taking the Lions on the road. Now, much like last year, the Saints are really struggling to stop the run, especially against, mobile quarterbacks, but they haven't really progressed as an offense. They're scoring a touchdown on 42% of their red zone trips. That ranks 29th. I'm worried about their injuries. Marshawn Lattimore and Michael Thomas are on injured reserve. And on Sunday, Cam Jordan, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed all got hurt. If you look at the Detroit offense, though, they're averaging the second most yards per game, over 400. The defense has been showing flashes of potential, but they have not been put it all together yet. But that Lions defense, man, oh man, that one more note on that. They are allowing red zone touchdowns 68% of the time. And now if you're facing Derek Carr, who has not exactly been successful in the red zone, what gives? Well, for me, I like the Lions because they have the extra rest from Thanksgiving. They really disappointed in that game against Green Bay. I think they come out angry. And to me, New Orleans is just really sputtering. Very disappointing team for me, so give me Detroit. My number 11 game, the Arizona Cardinals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Congratulations to the Steelers, finally passing 400 yards of offense in a game. And now their defense, which is definitely top 10, goes against a rather subpar Arizona offense. But the Arizona defense, that defense was early in the year in the top 5 in sacks. Now they rank 11th. And then against the Rams, they allowed 228 rushing yards. Plus, the Cardinals are 0-6 on the road. They have not scored more than 16 points in any of those road games. Kyler Murray's not overcoming that. Give me Pittsburgh at home with my number 11. Number 10, that was my Thursday pick, Seahawks at Cowboys. Not going to get too much into that, but going into the game, they had won all 5 of their home games by at least 20 points. The only team in NFL history to do that. I just really like Dallas on a short week, so I gave them my number 10 pick, and Got 10 points out of that one, so that feels pretty good. Number 9, Bengals at Jaguars. So the Jaguars are hosting a Monday night game for the first time since 2011. Wow. The Jaguars' offensive line is playing very well, especially in pass protection. The last 2 games, they've allowed just 1 sack and 4 quarterback hits. Not too bad. The defense has forced 20 turnovers. Josh Allen on defense is having the best year of his career with 12 sacks. Cincinnati, they're sort of managing around the Joe Burrow injury. T. Higgins is supposed to be back for this game, but their defense has taken a big hit. They're allowing 389 yards per game, and they really struggle to stop big plays. So I'm going to take Jacksonville at home on Monday. Number 8, the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego at the New England Patriots. San Diego is allowing 280 passing yards per game. That's the most in the NFL. Won't matter this week, though. The Patriots are averaging 13 points per game, and on this 4-game losing streak that they're on, they're averaging 168 passing yards per game, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions total. I swear, I think New England would take Matt Castle or Steve Grogan back as they are right now to play quarterback in this game. Give me the Chargers on the road. Number 7, the Chiefs at the Packers. So Green Bay gets a little Thanksgiving Day rest. Patrick Mahomes playing in Lambeau Field for the very first time. Kansas City's offense definitely not clicking, but I think Isaiah Pacheco, I think this is his day. He's going against the 27th ranked run defense that's dealing with injury issues, allowing 135 yards per game on the ground. And then also, Jordan Love's been playing better at quarterback for Green Bay. Good for him. But he's going against a Kansas City defense allowing the 3rd fewest points per game, just 16.5. I'm going to take the Chiefs in Lambeau. Jordan Love has not seen a defense like this one yet. Number 6, the Cleveland Browns at the LA Rams. I thought the Browns were a huge disappointment last week. Joe Flacco may be playing quarterback for them this week. And even with their spectacular defense, the offense just, it struggles to keep up with the pace. But as for the Rams, when you think Stafford, Williams, Kupp, Nakua, you got a fun offense. They've won 2 straight games, and now they think they can contend for a playoff spot. So at home, give me Stafford and the Rams. And then we go to number 5, the Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. The Texans' offense has been great, 9th in points per game with 22.9. C.J. Stroud is 2nd in the league in passing yards, 7th in touchdowns. But I would be a little worried about the Houston defense. Let's not overlook that. They're allowing in the last month about 3 or 4 points more per game than they were earlier on. And Denver, it seems like I pick against them every week, and every week they win. So I give them credit. They have an opportunistic defense. They're creating turnovers. They've got a pretty good running game. And, Russell Wilson, he's still good for a few vintage moments every single Sunday. But it's really about the Broncos' defense. They have 16 takeaways during this 5-game win streak. Just to put that in perspective, there are 18 teams in the league that don't have 16 takeaways for the year yet. So I don't know if I just don't think this is sustainable. I think Denver's doing it with smoke and mirrors. I'm going to take Houston at home. I just think eventually the clock's going to strike on Denver. I just cannot see them sustaining this. I think we see a little Stroud magic in this game. Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. Colts are just weird from week to week. Sometimes the defense bails out the offense. Sometimes the offense bails out the defense. But they are in a playoff race. But with the Titans offense, the biggest issue they've got is their struggles in the red zone. They've scored on only 38% of their visits inside the 20-yard line. What's crazy about that is 30% down from last year. Last year, Tennessee was scoring 64% of the time in the red zone. That's the second worst red zone mark in the league. I think we all know who's doing worse. But anyway, the Titans have lost 4 of their 7 games by 1 score or less. So they're in these games. They're not getting blown out. They're just not finding ways to pull it out. Now, I probably would have picked Indianapolis in this game, but Jonathan Taylor will not be here in this game. He's having thumb surgery. I'm just going to go with Tennessee. They are a perfect 4-0 at home. I'm calling an upset in this game. Number 3, the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. The Jets are just consistently awful while Atlanta is super inconsistent. The Falcons defense, they started well, but they've given up 350 yards or more in the last 4 games. Desmond Ridder, 18 turnovers every week. It seems that I rip him. As for the Jets, we know the deal. 10 offensive touchdowns in 11 games. Historically bad in the red zone. Historically bad on third down. The very talented defense is frustrated as hell right now. But Atlanta is coming off a very big win against New Orleans, which now has them in first place in their division. I think they could be prone to a letdown game. I do think the Jets will stay in this one and keep it very close. I just can't pick the Jets until I see this offense actually show a slight hint of competency. So I think 3 to 4 field goals by Koo and a touchdown are enough. I'm taking the Falcons, but I'm only taking it with a number 3 pick. Number 2, the unquestioned game of the week, the 49ers at the Eagles, the rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Eagles are allowing, here's one thing with the Eagles that's interesting. They are averaging 14.6 points per game in the second half. That is the most of any team in the league. The defense ranks 3rd against the run compared to 29th against the pass. So if you're facing a good running team, that's going to be a problem for Philadelphia. Meanwhile, the San Francisco D, 15 sacks in the last 3 games after recording just 18 in the first 8. I think with a healthy Brock Purdy, I think that's going to be enough. I think the Niners are going to hand the Eagles just their second defeat of the year. The Niners have an outside chance at the number 1 seed if they want any shot of it. They've got to beat Philadelphia in this game. Plus, they've got 3 extra days of rest, and I think that does matter when the teams are this competitive. So I'm going to take San Francisco on the road with my number 2 and my number 1 game, the game that I got the least confidence in because it's the who cares game of the week, the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Frank Reich was fired as Panthers coach. Now Chris Tabor is interim coach. So can they get the same boost that the Raiders did when they fired Josh McDaniels and replaced him with Antonio Pierce? I don't know, but I do know the Panthers have averaged 11.5 points per game over the last 4 games and haven't scored more than 15 points in their last 5. The offensive line, wow, they are making history. They have given up 40 sacks. Bryce Young has been sacked 40 times. Their defense isn't much better. But with the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, a little bit banged up with an ankle issue. Their biggest issue, I would say, is still red zone and running the ball. Rachaad White is very good. But, yeah, they got to get the ball in the red zone. That's been one of their biggest problems with their extended losing streak. They're 2 bad teams. I'm just going to take Tampa Bay at home. I just think Carolina's in a little bit too much duress, and I don't know. I guess I don't have the same confidence in Chris Tabor that I did in Antonio Pierce. So, yeah, let's say Rachaad White has a pretty good game, and Tampa Bay takes that one. All right, guys, those are my picks. Let me see your picks. Put them right down there in the comments. Got any upset specials in mind? Let me know what they are. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.